We're going to work on making this soap dispenser, and then we're just going to work on positioning it down here. And we're also going to make a little mirror thing here, and we're also going to make some more details back here, but mostly this is just the focus right here is this soap dispenser. So we're going to go back to our Blender file. We're going to create a cube, so go to create and choose cube. S to scale this down, bring it up. And then we're going to want to scale it on the Z-axis to make it a bit taller, and you can scale it on the Y-axis as well if you want. So just do S and Z, S and Y, and adjust it until you have the dimensions that you're looking for. I'm going to bring mine back slightly, and you can also just grab this face in the back and adjust the width of this, or the length of it, whatever you want to call it. And you can do the same on the bottom. If you just want to adjust the bottom, you can just adjust the bottom. Once you're happy with the dimensions, you're going to do Control R, just bring this down to about here. And we're going to do Control R again, then left click, right click. And we're going to select this edge and just bring it forward slightly. And we're going to select this other edge and bring it forward again. We're going to go to Face Select, we're going to select these faces and press I to inset. Then we're going to go to Vertex Select and select this vertex, Shift select this one, Alt M at last. And then do the same over here, just merge them at the last, merge them to the corners. Then we're going to select these two vertices, we're going to do S and then Y to scale them out some and kind of straighten this out a bit right here. We want to add some bevels to this outer part, so we're going to switch to Edge Select, and we're going to select these edges here, so select these, and that should be good. We're going to do Control B and mouse wheel up once and add a bevel to this outer part. And we're also going to do the same on the bottom, so we're going to select these two bottom edges, and we're going to do Control B. And this time we're not going to mouse wheel up, we're just going to leave it the way it is. And now at this point we're going to take this vertex here, and we're going to Shift select this one, Alt M at last. And then do the same over here, merge this one over to the last point. We're going to do Control 3 for left view. And we're going to do K for the knife cut tool. We're just going to left click here, and then we're going to try to make a rounded shape, so we're just going to carefully with our knife cut tool just take this and make sort of a rounded shape, and then press enter. Then we're going to do Control R, and we're going to left click, right click here. We're going to take this vertex, grab it on the Y axis, hold Control, snap it there. That just makes sure it's perfectly in the center of the object. And we're going to adjust some of these, the position of some of these, just to make it a little bit more rounded. Then we're going to select this vertex, Shift S, cursor to selected, so it's in the center. We're going to hold Control, right click to select all these, do Shift D to duplicate, and right click to cancel. Switch this to 3D cursor, and do S, Y, -1 and press enter. Then we're going to press Z to go to wireframe and box select these two areas to get these vertices W and remove doubles. Switch to face select and select these two faces, delete and choose faces. And back to vertex select, Alt right click, Alt and Shift right click, and then get these two vertices and F to make a face. You may want to deselect this vertex and then do F to make a face. Then we're going to Alt right click and then select these three, F to make a face again. At this point we're going to select this vertex and this one, do J to join, and then select these two and J to join as well. If you want to, you can do Control R, left click, and then make one in the center. Select these two, J to join, and now you can select this one and G twice to slide it down to kind of make a nicer curve. And then if you want to, you can select these two and J to join those as well. We're going to switch to face select, and we're going to select this bottom face, and we're just going to delete it temporarily, so just do delete and choose faces. Then we're going to select these faces here, and we're going to do I to inset and do B for the border option and do a small inset. Then we're going to do E to extrude, right click to cancel, and we're going to bring this back some. We're going to select this face here, we're going to press delete and choose faces. And now we're going to do Control R, left click, and bring this up. You just want to kind of match it up with this part here. If you really wanted to, you could just grab it on the X-axis, hold Control and snap it there to make sure it's at the same point. Then switch to vertex select, select this vertex, or select these two vertices and press F. And then select these two vertices and press F. Then we're going to take these three and press F, and then these three over here and press F again, and then these two and press F. So now we've filled in the bottom again. One thing I might want to do is try to round this out a little bit more. So if I just do Alt right click, or if I actually just select these three and do the same on the other side, just select these three and just bring this down a little and maybe in a little on the y-axis, so scale it on the y-axis. I'm just trying to get it a little bit rounder at the bottom so it doesn't look so weird. We're going to tab back into edit mode, and we're just going to Alt right click on this inner set of vertices here. We're going to do Shift D to duplicate and right click to cancel, then press F to make a face here. We're going to do I to inset and just do a small inset. We're going to switch to face select, and we're going to select this bottom face, do delete and choose faces. Switch to vertex select and select these two vertices. I'm actually going to switch this back to median point now. And I'm going to grab it on the Z-axis, hold Control and snap it there. Then do S and Y and just scale it out slightly so that the distance is similar to these other two, or these other areas. And then we can do Control L and Shift H to hide everything else. Alt right click on this outer one, do delete and choose vertices. Then just press A and do Control N, or if you need to, go to Mesh Normals and flip normals. Then we can do Alt H to unhide this, and we're going to select one of these vertices, do Control L to get this piece, E to extrude, right click to cancel, and just bring it back slightly. This will be that part that you press your hand up against to get the soap out. I'm going to do Control L and Control N again just to recalculate the normals. I'm going to do Shift H to hide this, and I'm actually just going to delete this back part because it's going to be easier for right now. So we're going to Alt right click, delete, and choose vertices. Because what I want to do is just start connecting these and making quads and stuff. So we're going to do Control R, and we're just going to mouse wheel up twice, and then just left click, right click. We're going to switch to vertex select and select these two and J to join them. So the center two, we're going to join those together. We're going to select these two and J to join, and then these two, J to join, these two, and then these two. We do end up with a triangle, but I just wanted this extra geometry here in the center to help us later. We're going to press A twice. We're going to do Shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel, S, Z, and -1 and press enter. Then do S, X, and -1 and press enter. Then do Control N. And we're going to bring this down and bring this forward. And we can actually snap it here. So if we do G and then hold Control and snap it there, then A twice, W, and remove doubles, we've now joined those two pieces together. So if we want to on this bottom piece, we can just Alt right click, S and then Y, and scale this out. And do the same on these other parts just to make it so that the bottom's a little different than the top. Once we're done with that, we're going to add some curvature to this, so just start selecting vertices and bringing them out on the x-axis. If you want to, you can also adjust the center vertices and just bring those out slightly more just so it has more curvature in the center. But that's up to you if that's what you want to do. Once we're done with that, we're just going to do A to select everything, E to extrude, right click to cancel, and just bring this back some. A twice, Control N to recalculate the normals, and then at this point we can do Alt H and unhide everything. So now we have our nice little place where you push to get the soap. A lot of them have this little inset here, so we're just going to switch to face select and select these faces. I kind of like it where it kind of goes out and then back in. So if yours doesn't have this out and back in, you can select these two, S and then Y, and adjust it on the Y-axis until you're happy. Then go to face select and select these four, do I to inset and do a small inset. Then you can do I to inset again, and then we're just going to bring it back on the x-axis. And I'm going to switch to vertex select, select the center vertex, and bring that back slightly as well. We can start getting rid of some of these n-gons, so we're just going to select these two vertices and J to join, and select these two and J to join, and we're just going to repeat that process until we've gotten rid of pretty much all the n-gons here. So select two vertices and join them together by using J. I'm going to delete this edge. So go to edge select, select this edge, delete, and choose dissolve edges. Back to vertex select, and I'm going to select these two and then J to join them together. We're going to have some n-gons on the back too, so we're going to go to the back and we're just going to join these. I just did Control R to add in a loop cut here so that we could join these two together at the top. If you want to, you can do Control L and then H to hide this just to make sure you joined everything. It looks like I need to still join these, so just select these two and join them, then do Alt H to unhide everything, and we should be all set to go. If you want to, you can go to Tools and Object Mode and turn on Smooth Shading. Then you get to see that nice little shading on the edge. So what we're going to do now is just position it. So we're just going to select a vertex, Control L. You got to select the vertex down here and do Control L as well. And then I'm going to do Shift D to duplicate and right click to cancel. We're going to bring this down. We're going to S to scale it down and number pad period to focus in. We're going to have to hide this door, so just go to face select, select one of these faces, Control L, then press H. Select a face here and here, do Control L, and now we can scale it down some more. RZ and then 90 and press enter. And we're going to start positioning it and scaling it down to be the appropriate size. So we're just going to bring it in here and scale it down. That's probably going to be fine. So once you have the scale correct, you're going to grab it on the y-axis, hold Control, snap it there, and you're going to reposition it on the x-axis. I'm going to bring mine down on the z-axis, then I'm going to bring it up and hold Control, snap it there, and maybe just bring it down slightly. I'm not sure if that's actually lined up correctly with this. It looks like it's a little bit higher up, so I'm going to bring it down and then just try to line it up with this piece here. That looks good to me. You can just position it wherever you feel fits nicely. So we're going to switch to edge select, and we're actually going to do Control R and left click and just bring this back a little bit. Then we're going to select these two edges. We're going to do Shift D to duplicate and right click to cancel, E to extrude, right click to cancel, and bring this down. Going to bring it down a little bit higher up than this, and then that should be good. Then we're going to do E to extrude, right click to cancel, and we're going to bring it back. Just want to bring it back enough so it's not sticking through. I'm actually going to select these two edges, and I'm just going to bring them back slightly. Then we can select this edge, do Shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel, E to extrude, right click to cancel, and we're just going to bring this down and bring it back some on the y-axis too, just to give it some angle to it. We're going to bring it back until it's almost outside of this part right here. I'm going to switch to vertex select, select this vertex and bring it in so it's not sticking through. Then I'm going to select this vertex, do G, hold Control and snap it there. To make the little mirror part, you could either make this the mirror or you can just select it and do Shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel, bring it forward slightly. And that can be your mirror, or you can give it some depth by doing E to extrude, right click to cancel, and just bring it forward slightly, and that'll be your mirror right there. But you might want to do Control L, Control N just to make sure the normals are correct. One thing you could do is kind of bring all these down a bit just to make sure that it's easier for people to reach it. So if you want to select face on each of these and do Control L, and you can even do the same on these. If you select these and do Control L, we can move these all down together, but I'm actually going to deselect these top vertices. So go to vertex select, B to box select, Z for wireframe, B to box select. Get rid of all those top vertices. Then we can just bring this all down or up depending on what you want. Just double check to make sure things aren't sticking through again, so you might have to adjust some of these. I think that's probably fine, even though it kind of looks like it's sticking through. But you could, if you wanted, just select it with Control L and just bring it forward slightly if it's really giving you any problems, but I think it should be fine. Or actually maybe we will have to move it forward, so just make sure you select a vertex on both pieces and then just bring it forward slightly, and that should be fine right there. So So once you're happy with the positioning of everything, you just go ahead and save it by going to File and Save. Thank you to our awesome Patreon supporters. If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter yourself, head on over to patreon.com/StephenBrooks. Thank you for your support.